Okay, we are going to present the results of these elections. We are going to start first with the election of the chairperson of the African Regional Office. Okay, now we have the parliamentary system. Can we have the first election on the system, please? It's the chairperson of the African Regional Office. You can see the result of the screen. I would like to congratulate Mr. David for being elected as the new IPSF chairperson of the African Regional Office. Can we move to the next? Next, we have the result of the chairperson of the Asia Pacific Regional Office. You can see the results on the screen. I would like to congratulate Mr. Bill Wilson for being elected as the new IPSF chairperson of the Asia Pacific Regional Office. Test. Can we move to the next?
Recording in progress.
Can we move to the next? Is the election of the chairperson of the Eastern Mediterranean Regional Office. You can see the results on the screen. I would like to congratulate Mrs. Efteha El Sayed for being elected as the new chairperson of the Eastern Mediterranean Regional Office. Congratulations. Can we have next, please? The next is the election of the chairperson of the Pan American Regional Office. You can see the results on the screen. I would like to congratulate Mrs. Gabriel Jimenez for being elected as the new chairperson of the Pan American Regional Office. We're over with elections. Can I have another mic? We can move to the next motions. Can I have next motion on the screen? I will do it. Maybe at 20.
Testing.
Let's put it at 20. No. It's okay. Can everybody see the motion? Can I have? No? Okay. Maybe in 26. Oh, no. No. But no, it is. Oh, no, that's it, right? Okay, motion number 44. This is 68 IPSF General Assembly mandates the IPSF Executive Committee to release the second call for nomination for the IPSF Executive We have a new comment? Technical? Can PSB, please? Can I have a mic? Thank you. I will read it again. This is 68 IPSF General Assembly mandates the IPSF Executive Committee to release the second call for nominations for the IPSF Executive Committee, which shall remain open until 5th of September 2022, 23:59 GMT plus 0 for the following position: Chairperson of External Relations, Chairperson of Professional Development, Chairperson of the European Regional Office, and a scheduled elections to the online session of the General Assembly that will be organized no later than 10th of September 2022. This motion shall not be reviewed once it's achieved. We had a point of information by ASEP Switzerland.
Valentine accepts Switzerland regarding the position of the chairperson of the European Regional Office. It isn't the second call, it would be the third. However, we have decided during the Regional Assembly that EXCO will appoint someone, so this motion is wrong in the wording. Thanks.
Point of information by IPSF Exco.
Kishan IPSF Exco, in with regards to the call that's released by IPSF Global, this is still the second call, so the motion is not wrong. The regional assembly only nominates the regional chairperson, not elects them. So there can be a second or third call within the region, but it is up to the general assembly to elect this chairperson. But unfortunately, since we have no nominee and since we only went through the first call for elections at the global level, we still are going into the second call. And just a moment. Okay, so information from the current chairperson of Euro. So the region has already made a unanimous decision that it will skip the nomination phase from the Euro region, and it will go straight to the elections for within the federation. So this is the information I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. Now the floor is open for discussion. I close the floor for discussion and proceed to voting. Those who are against this motion, abstaining, motion carried unanimously. Can we move to the next? Okay, I will. Motion 45. This the 68 IPSF General Assembly co-opts Mr. Isaac Ni Ofolianang as President-elect 2022-2023 onto the IPSF Executive Committee 2022-2023. This shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. The floor is open for discussion. We have a clarification by KNPSB.
Test Franca KMPSV Netherlands. Can you clarify this motion? Because I don't, or we don't know why this is necessary. Thank you.
Point of information by IPSF Exco.
Kishan IPSF Exco. So as per the official documents, the president-elect is a co-opted member of the IPSF Executive Committee, which this means that he is a non-voting member of the Executive Committee. So when we make a decision as Exco, the president-elect and also the chairperson of World Congress, which is also another co-opted member, cannot vote on such decisions. We are having this motion just to make it official that we are co-opting him, so that this is decided by General Assembly. But I just want to add that. Yeah, okay. So this is just to make it official. Thank you, as per the official documents.
Thank you for the clarification. New BPSA? No? Dropped. Thank you. Seeing no new comments, I close the floor for discussion and proceed to voting. Those against the motion? Those abstaining? Carried unanimously. Can we move to the next, please? Motion 46. This the 68 IPSF General Assembly suspends clause 14.3.7 of the IPSF domestic rules, which state that the proposed chairperson of the World Congress must have attended at least one IPSF World Congress and one other IPSF event before being co-opted to the Executive Committee for the duration of the 68 IPSF General Assembly. This shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. We have motivation for this motion by IPSF Exco.
Good morning, everyone. Kishan here from the Executive Committee. Test. So, As per the official documents, the upcoming World Congress, chairperson of the World Congress must have attended at least one World Congress prior to this, and also another IPSF event as per the domestic rules. However, we have come to find out that the current host, the host for the next World Congress, and the people involved, the RC, none of them have actually attended a World Congress before due to reasons such as it being online, or they did not have the it was in direct conflict with their scheduling to attend. So the reason why we have brought this motion up is to make it very clear that we are not going against the official documents by electing a chairperson that is not part of the World Congress, has not participated in World Congress before, and to also make it a decision by the General Assembly so that it is official. But this in no way means that we are electing someone who is inexperienced, because we have members of the executive committee who have participated in World Congress before, both physical and online, and we will definitely be supervising the reception committee as much as possible, as it is our responsibility anyway. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Kishan. Now the floor is open for discussion. Seeing no new comments, I close the floor for discussion and proceed to voting. Those against this motion? Those abstaining? Carried unanimously. Motion 47. This the 68 IPSF General Assembly co-opts Mr. Emmanuel Glustino, Chairperson of the 68 IPSF World Congress 2023, onto the IPSF Executive Committee 2022-2023. This shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. I open the floor for discussion on this motion. Seeing no new comments, and proceed to voting. Those against this motion? Those abstaining? Carried unanimously. Motion 48. This the 68 IPSF General Assembly approves the theme Breakout of the Digital Era in Health and Well-being Pharmacy's role in promoting healthy lifestyle and a proper nutrition intake. For the educational symposium of the 68 IPSF World Congress, this motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. I open the floor for discussion on this motion. Seeing no new comments, I close the floor for discussion. Those against this motion? Those abstaining? Carried unanimously. Motion 49. DSD 68 IPSF General Assembly approves the theme increasing the utilization of natural resources to improve quality of life throughout healthy nutrition for the scientific symposium of the 68 IPSF World Congress. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. I open the floor for discussion for this motion. Seeing no new comments, I close the floor for discussion and proceed to voting. Those against this motion, those abstaining, carry unanimously. We have a point of order by IPSF Exco.
Kishan IPSF Exco, I would like to remind the General Assembly that everything that we've discussed during closed discussion should not leave the closed discussion. This also involves not discussing anything during the closed discussion with any of the official delegates or Exco that have been inside the room. This is a serious breach of the Code of Conduct of Ethics and Code of Conduct and Ethics of IPSF. If we have found that any of the official delegates, Executive Committee, RC, and the Motions Committee who have breached this rule, we will take serious action and penalty against this individual. This is just a reminder, everyone. So hopefully we stick to this because we still have close discussions for the rest of the motions. Thank you.
Next, we have an incoming election, and it's for the World Congress bid of the 69th IPSF World Congress. We received one application by CAPSI Canada. We have CAPSI Canada here. Point of information by TPAYC.
Mustafa TPAYC Turkey. Aren't we supposed to have like a proper worded motion? Thank you.
Point of information by IPSF Exco.
Hi, Kishan IPSF Exco. No, just like the elections, we don't usually have a proper wording. It's just to show who are bidding and we'll just elect them because we don't pass this as a motion. Thank you.
Okay, before I start, CAPSI,
Recording stopped.
first of all, please, could you please raise a point of order to give us your vote, or do you want to delegate your vote? Or do you understand? Okay, we have a point of order by CAPSI Canada. Can the scrutineers grab CAPSI vote first? Can we have the voting materials to Annette France, please? Thank you, scrutineers. Now we can start the presentation by CAPSI Canada. You will have 10 minutes for your presentation. You can start, please. Do we have a presentation? Can we have the presentation on the screen? Thank you so much. Uh,
Testing, testing.
yeah, for your presentation, you have just 10 minutes for your presentation, or if you have a video, this has to be included under 10 minutes. You can start, please.
Thank you. So, hi everyone. My name is Angelica. I am the chairperson for CAPSI's bidding committee, and this is Olivier, my VP Logistics. So, I would just like to start off by saying thank you. It's a great honor to be able to be here in Egypt to present you all CAPSI's bid for the 69th IPSF World Congress in Montreal, Canada. So, next slide, please. These are the topics that I will be discussing today. We're going to talk a bit about CAPSI, Montreal, our tentative dates and venues, the event schedule, the progress that we have currently, and then the contingency plan. So let's get right into it. Next slide, please. So CAPSI, the Canadian Association of Pharmacists, Students, and Interns, is our Canadian association. It has been created in 1967. It represents the 10 faculties of pharmacy. And in 1997, we hosted the World Congress for the first time in Vancouver, British Columbia. That inspired us to create our own event, the PDW, Professional Development Week, and it's an annual congress that englobes all the pharmacy students across Canada every year. So, don't change, please. Today we are around 55 years old, and we represent over 4,000 students across Canada. We have a solid committee, and we have quite a good footing on the international level. In the past few years, most of our contact person and our SEOs have been decorated, and we even won a second best association this year. So we believe that with our hard work, we can host once again the World Congress, but this time in Montreal, Canada. Next slide, please. But why Montreal? So Montreal is one of the largest first founding cities in North America and is the largest French-speaking city in America. It has this lovely European touch, but this also modern American experience to it, making the experience in Montreal very unique. And we would love to share that with you. Next slide, please. There's always something to do in Montreal, from the different places to visit, the little markets, the boutiques. So we wish to share that with you. Next slide, please. So these are some of the places to visit. Next slide. Montreal is a very multicultural city. Just walking through the city, you could visit Chinatown, Little Italy, the Latin district. So not only you can learn about different cultures, you can also try the different foods there, because Montreal is also a very foodie city. Next slide. Next is Montreal and nature. We are very in touch with nature. There are several parks to visit in our city, and if you wish to do so, you can also visit outside the city where there's lovely national parks. Next slide. So Montreal is an entertainment city, entertainment center, a cultural center, and we hope to really share that with you in the summer. Next slide. We have a lot of food festivals, a lot of fireworks events, museums to visit. Next slide. And we really hope to host you all in 2024. Next slide. How to get to Montreal. So there's two main ways. There's the international airport, Montréal Pierre-Éliott Trudeau, and we have international flights on a daily basis. For those in North America, there's the possibility of going via train to the Bonaventure train station. Next slide. Montreal is also very accessible from within. There's the metro, which is our subway, our bus, and our train that allows you to go anywhere in the city. There's the Bixi, which are bikes that are rented out by the city. For those that wish to go a bit further, there's taxi or Uber. And my all-time favorite to discover little boutiques and restaurants and cafes is by walking. Next, please. So we wish to build our event according to the theme, Pharmacist, Your Trusty First Line Responder. So in the last few years with COVID, it was more difficult for patients to have access to healthcare, and especially in Canada and in Quebec, pharmacists really rose to the occasion. We were able to vaccinate, we were able to prescribe, and we were recognized by the government, and we're now allowed to do different acts. We wish to construct our World Congress according to that, to push our clinical skills and help all of our pharmacy students around the world to really work on that and cause a ripple effect and advance the profession of pharmacists. Next, please. So now to discuss the tentative venues and non-accommodation. Next, please. These are the dates and number of participants for the Leaders in Training and World Congress events. Perfect. Next, please. Both events will be happening at the Hotel Bonaventure. So it's a 4-star hotel, and it's located in the heart of Montreal. It's between the Old Port, downtown area, and the entertainment district. It's very large and can accommodate all our venues. Next, please. These are some pictures of the venues. Next, please. And the schedule. Next, please. I'm not going to go into detail about the schedules. You can see that for yourself. But basically, the Leaders in Training will be 4 nights. Next, please. For the World Congress, it's going to be around 10 nights. We start out with Symposium. There's an expo, which is a health fair. And we finish with the workshops. And we're going to have around 40 hours of GA. Next, please. You can pass to the next one as well, please. For the PCT, we'll be visiting 3 areas. You can go on to the next slide. First is Saguenay-Chicoutimi, so we'll be visiting the fjords. Next, please. Then next is Charlevoix-Baie-Saint-Paul. There are mountains and lakes. There are very lovely hikes and a lovely village to visit. Next, please. And then there's Quebec City, where we will be visiting Old Port, the Montmorency Falls, and obviously trying poutine. Next. For the Symposia workshops and competitions, they will be based on our theme that I presented earlier. For the workshops, there'll be a cultural aspect, and we will be having a intro to Native culture, since it's very important for Canadian history, and we'll have a French immersion class as well. Next, please. For the competitions, we will have an over-the-counter competition, PharmaFacts, and pharmaceutical consultation. We chose these 3 competitions because these are the ones that we're most comfortable with, since we do organize them on an annual basis. We will also be holding a compounding competition if COVID permitting. Next, please. We have reached out to some sponsors, and for the moment, with even an unconfirmed event, we already have 4 sponsors that are willing. Next. Next, please. This is a gross timeline. You can skip the next 3 slides, please. Next, please. Okay, onto the budget. I'm not going to go into too much detail. For the pre-World Congress, we estimate around 300 euros. We're not even close of hitting that for the moment. Next, please. For the budget of Leaders in Training, it's around 51,000 euros. That includes the welcome package, transport from the airport, obviously, the venues, and some meals. Perfect. And then there's a 10% unexpected budget, and these prices are based with the current prices. We are aware there's a aggressive inflation for the next few years. Next. Same concept for World Congress. We are rounding around 750,000 euros. Same concept as I just explained for Leaders in Training. And next, please. For the budget for PCT, you could see the number right there. I can't see it at this angle. I apologize. Okay, for the budget income, as you can see, our sponsorship is quite heavy. Although it seems like a huge amount, these are numbers that we are comfortable with. Usually on an annual basis for our PDW event that I discussed earlier, it's usually about 4 nights, but we usually amass around 500,000 Canadian for that. So we're just pushing it a bit to 750,000 because it's a larger event and it's more international, so we'll have more sponsors to contact at that point. So these are our numbers. Can you go on to the next slide, please? Next, please. This is our current team. Next, please. Okay, finally for the contingency plan. Next, please. So these are the 4 points that we'll be trying to implement the most possible. For point 1, we'll have all our Leaders in Training World Congress events taken online if recommended by the government. So if it's mandated, we already have some platforms that are chosen. We're going to create timelines to make sure there's no out-of-the-pocket costs. We ensure all flexibility for COVID clauses to make sure there's no cancellation fees. And in the case that we don't meet our number of participants, we will be offering packages. Next slide, please. And these are the packages that we will be offering and their prices. These are the prices for students. We were thinking of having a higher price for pharmacists. And next slide.
Time's over.
We will be adopting COVID
Will.
measures. Thank you.
Now the floor is open for discussion. Thank you, Capsi, for your presentation.
Thank you.
We have first one by Asep Algeria.
Test. So I've got Aspa Algeria. First of all, thank you for your World Congress bed and for your presentation. My question is about the visa procedures. What are your dispositions in order to help potential participants acquire it?
Okay,
Thank you.
so
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
Oh, sorry. So I guess all of you have a question about the visa, of course. So for the visa, around 60 countries and regions don't have to have a visa. For the people that need a visa, we'll be making a document that lists step by step how to ask for the visa. We will be also including an invitation letter to facilitate your visa application. And we will be in contact with the government to help ease that issue as well. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have Asset Switzerland.
Valentine of Switzerland, first of all, thank you very much for your bid. We ran through some numbers in your budget, and we saw that for the LIT, you have a total surplus of 3,709 euros. For the World Congress, or for the Congress in itself, you have 19,563 surplus, and for the post-Congress tour, you have a surplus of 4,590 euros, which makes a total of surplus for the entire event of 62,864 euros. And this is quite a lot of money, and we wanted to ask why you have planned in such a huge surplus, as IPSF is a non-profit organization. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
Thank you for your question. These are first estimations. For sure that we are not trying to take profit out of the event. These are, like I said, these are first numbers. We are trying to minimize all out-of-pocket costs for the moment, and yeah, that's pretty much that. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have IPSA.
Maria Unsi LPSA. First, thank you for your efforts. Our question is, if you could collaborate with additional sponsors, could the fees maybe decrease in the future, or are they fixed? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
Thank you for your question. So for sure, if we have more sponsors, the price would ideally decrease, but at the moment, it's still a very good price for, as you can see, it's around 440 euros. But if we are able to minimize that, we will do that. But if, like I said, 750 is our aiming point. If it's not met, the price might increase a little bit.
Thank you for the answer. We have a direct by ASEP Switzerland.
Valentine, ASEP Switzerland, still regarding the sponsorships that you have already approximately settled, we wanted to ask to which approximate percentage your sponsorships now would be covered, because it is quite high, the amount that you're expecting of sponsorships. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
So we haven't signed any contracts yet with any sponsorship. I've just sent emails just to see if they were interested. So the sponsorships that you saw on the screen were the ones that answered positively. For sure, we're gonna contact a lot of people in the next few weeks if we get the bid. But for now, we don't have any contracts signed.
It's also because the event was not confirmed, so there's a lot of grants and stuff that we could not fill out yet, but those are our first priority things that we will be doing as soon as we get back. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have APEF Portugal.
Denise, APEF Portugal. Firstly, we'd like to thank you for your presentation and for your application. We would also like to say that we really like the contingency plan in case the number of participants are not met. However, we would like to ask if this contingency plan could not be extended to other students outside of Canada and Montreal. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
Yes, there is that possibility. We'll be discussing a price as soon as we have it confirmed, and it will be according to how many spots we have left as well. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have KNPSB.
Franca KNPSV Netherlands, first of all, thank you very much for your application. It looks really nice. Right now, the RC consists of only 9 people, and a few crucial functions, such as a treasurer, are missing. So we are wondering what your plans are to extend the RC, and when are you planning to do that, since the RC bonding will start next week or next month during your schedule. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
Thank you for your question. So as soon as we get back, we're starting school, so we are reaching out immediately. And although we are 9 members, one of the members, although she's not elected officially, she is already in charge of our treasury. And also we also have kind of like an interim VP as well. It's just that she's not officially elected by CAPSI yet. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. We have a direct by ASEP Switzerland.
Valentine, ASEP Switzerland, still regarding your RC. You mentioned that they will be afterwards elected by CAPSI. And so does that also mean for the people that are named now member in your RC, will they have a position allocated, or are they just the helping team already? Thanks.
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
Thank you for your question. So depending on what position they want, they might be elected. So we have some positions that are for our RC, and if they don't wish to fall into that, they become a regular member, so they help out the team. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have AFOP Austria.
Alex, AFAP Austria. Thank you for the presentation. It looks quite nice to us. We were wondering what fraction of the budget and what measurements you are planning to take to ensure sustainability of the event.
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
Can you just repeat to ensure what, please?
Could you please clarify?
To ensure the sustainability of the event, like CO2 compensations or something like this.
Capsi.
Okay, so we don't have one at the moment, but that is something that is very important to us. So we will have that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have APF Port. Yeah. Please.
Denise, APF Portugal. Regarding the budget, enormous parcel for activities, lunches, and transportations from the World Congress City to Montreal, it appears zero, and we would like to understand how can such activities as workshops, lunches, and transportation have zero cost, or are they a cost of the student? Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Can
Capsi,
Can you just clarify? I just did not understand the question. Sorry.
please, APF.
Denise, APF Portugal. When seeing your budget, there are numerous parcels that have zero, namely workshops, transportation, and lunches. And we are asking if these costs are up to the student, or you just have sponsors for them and they are zero for you, but the students won't pay for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Capsi.
Thank you for your question. So for transport, it's going to be included by us. It's going to be covered. It's just that the logistics of it should be covered by a sponsor, and for that. For the lunch, we are looking at for sponsors for that, for it to be covered, because we talked about it with our team, and I believe that students want it to be covered. Initially, it was not supposed to be covered, but we will try our best efforts to make them covered. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. We have a direct by AFOP. Dropped. We have a direct by APF Portugal.
Denise, APF Portugal. Seeing as the previous comment regarding your surplus, since it's so big, why aren't these expenses covered as well? Thank you.
Capsi.
Because most of our meals are provided by the hotel per the contract, and despite that surplus, it does not cover the lunch. So we will be contacting with sponsors to provide that lunch. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. We have a clarification by KNPSB.
Frankrijk and PSV Netherlands, is there nothing stated in the official documents that the RC needs to provide all the meals in the World Congress? I don't know, it's a question for the Motions Committee or EXCO. Thank you.
Motions Committee. Point of information by BPSA.
Daniel BPSA UK. This way. Daniel BPSA UK. In the domestic rules 14.4.6.a, the event registration fee shall include accommodation, meals, and transportation for the duration of the event. It does not include the transportation to and from the event. Thank you.
Could you please repeat BPSA?
Daniel BPSA UK, in the IPSF domestic rules, section 14.4.6.a. The event registration fees shall include accommodations, meals, and transportation for the duration of.
Can I have another mic?
That's fine. Yeah.
We're okay. Point of information by IPSF EXCO.
Sorry, if I understand the question correctly, whether or not the registration fees has to include accommodation. Has to include the meals. Is that right? Okay. Yes. As per the official documents and proper practice of World Congress, the registration fees has to include accommodation, meals, and transportation for the duration of the event. As for the transportation from like airports or any other points of entry into the country to the event before and after the event, that is up to the discretion of the World Congress Reception Committee. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. You have a point of order by IPSF EXCO.
Sorry, Kishan IPSF EXCO, another point of information. What is presented in this bid, it is as of a motivation for the member organization, but of course later on, if there's any details that need to be changed to fit with the proper guidelines of World Congress, it will definitely be done with the supervision of the executive committee. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. Next, we have Accept Switzerland. Dropped. Next, KNPSB.
Frankrijk and PSV Netherlands. We are wondering what your plans are to make the event as much as sustainable as possible. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
Okay. Well, first of all the plates will be reused. We will be using public transportation a lot. Also, we're maybe planning on speakers right now about environmentally friendly pharmacy, which is something we've done in the past big conference about environment in CAPSI. And for now, that's pretty much it. Obviously, we're really trying to waste anything. So we're trying to reduce our waste as much as possible, but it's something we'll look in deeper as we're going through the process of making the World Congress.
Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have a direct by AFOP Austria.
Alex, AFAP Austria. We noted that this could be like a huge portion of the budget to account for this, like we have seen in other conferences, which were mostly European, and it costed them like 10% of the budget to calculate for this. So do you think this is still doable?
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
So the part of the plan right now that we have is that all the meals are included by the hotel. So for example, that part is all the plates and that, it's all managed by the hotel. So we don't have to care about the money for that part. As for transportation and stuff like that, we don't have a precise number yet. We have to reevaluate for sure. But it's definitely one of our preoccupations.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have IPSA.
Maria Unsi, IPSA Lebanon, thank you for your previous answers. IPSA would like to know if you can elaborate about your PD competitions, stated why they aren't IPSF events. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
That's a good question. Thank you. We will be incorporating other competitions, for example, PD. It's just that before this, we did not have access to very much information concerning the competitions. But since we assisted the World Congress this year, we will be adapting it towards the IPSF competitions as well. And we will be including as possible our competitions that we usually do. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have Asep Algeri.
So I've got Aspa Algeria. Thank you for your first answer. You mentioned in the budget of the LIT that the RC accommodation will be 13 rooms and the guest plus trainer accommodation would be 1. Does this mean that there'll be only 1 trainer for the LIT or was this a mistake? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
There won't be 1 trainer. I think it was a typo on that area. But there won't be just 1 trainer for the leaders in training for sure. I think that's just more of an accommodation. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. We have a direct by Asep Algeria.
So I've got Aspa Algeria. Thank you for your previous answer. You mentioned in your LIT presentation that you will be expecting 25 to 50 participants. Is it not the limit of an LIT to be just 25 participants? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
So it would be open up to 50 when we contacted the hotel just to have that number. But to be very honest, I was not aware that it would be more than 25 that's possible. But if that is the case, then we will be limiting at 25. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Any new comment? We have a new comment by BPHD. Dropped. Any new comment? IPSA.
Maria Unsi, IPSA Lebanon, thank you again for your previous answers. IPSA would like to know, as the ticket for Canada is considered quite expensive, will be any sponsors for the flights? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Capsi.
We will be contacting like Air Canada and other companies like that to help us with the sponsors. We don't know exactly quite yet how that contract will go or like what will the sponsorship be, but it's definitely in our plan to like contact Air Canada.
Thank you for the answer. Any new comment? Clarification by APEF Portugal?
Denise, APEF Portugal. Can the executive committee or the motion committee just clarify if 25 is actually the maximum of participants? Thank you.
A PSA. Do you have another? No. Okay. Any new comment? Technical by APEF?
Denise, APEF Portugal. I would just like to be sure. Did you hear my question? It was a okay.
Sorry, could you please repeat? Did you submit another? No. Cla- Okay. Could you please repeat APEF the question?
Denise, APEF Portugal. It was a clarification for the executive committee or the motions committee. Can someone clarify if it's really 25 the maximum participants for lead? Thank you.
Thank you. IPSF Exco. Yes, IPSF Exco.
Sarah Ibrahim, IPSF Exco. According to the LIT guidelines, the maximum number of participants in offline LIT is 25. If it's online, we can increase the number to reach 30. Thank you.
Any new comment? Seeing no new comments, I would like to thank you, Capsi, for your presentation. We are going to move to the closed discussion on this election. Please, laptops turn off. Any electronic device. Can I have scrutineers on the doors? All the delegates from Canada needs to leave the room. Live stream off. Recording. We have a point of order by IPSF Exco before moving to the closed discussion.